she's grown out of it. That means she's literally too big for it, too tall for it. When I say this dress doesn't appeal to her anymore, she's grown out of it, that means something different. When I say that this dress doesn't appeal to her, she's grown out of it. Grown out now means her tastes have changed, her attraction has changed. So in each one of these sentences, grown out is going to mean something different based on which word we decide to use. So the last one, this dress doesn't suit her anymore. She's grown out of it.
Suitable.
Anybody know what this dress doesn't suit her mean?
Right.
Not good.
Okay.
Too young.
Too young? Okay, yes. Let's
Suitable.
so let me first give you guys the official definition of it. And
Appropriate. Appropriate. Appropriate.
Appropriate. Yes. So to suit means to look right or appropriate. For something or someone. And so, what did you say you thought your definition was?
In this sentence, I think it means too young.
Too young,
In
yes.
this sentence.
So, in this case, this dress doesn't suit her anymore. She's grown out of it. She's maybe too young for that dress. Maybe she's too old for that dress. In this case, she's grown out of it. She's probably too old for that dress. And that she's older now. The dress she's wearing is probably meant for somebody a younger age. Not that it doesn't fit her, but younger people typically wear that kind of dress. You could do the exact opposite, to where you have somebody, a girl who wears a dress, and she's wearing a dress that maybe older women would wear, and she's really young. That dress doesn't suit her because she's a young girl. She's wearing a dress that older women probably wear. Doesn't suit her, because she should be wearing dresses that typically young girls would wear. Not that it's not her size. Nothing to do with how tall or how short she is, but for people her age, there's typically a certain style of suit or a certain style of dress that you wear.
This is the verb or adjective. Suit.
This would be the verb.
Verb.
Yeah. Does that help? As far as what suit means? Because obviously there's a suit you can wear, a physical thing. But in the way that suit's being used here is to describe how somebody looks to someone or something. Yeah, to look right.
Teacher,
Mhm.
going out or outward is same meaning.
Are you looking at number 10?
Number 9.
Outward and for out, same meaning.
A lot of time, yeah, they can have the same meaning, yes. So, if I said, this dress doesn't suit her anymore, she's grown out of it, or I say that this dress doesn't suit her anymore, she's outgrown it, that could mean the same thing. So let's do, let's see here. Let's skip ahead to page 30.
15 minutes.
Good by fast. Let's do number 15. Can somebody read number 15? Do you know how to read number 15?
I didn't notice you were wearing your new hat. I hadn't noticed that you were wearing your new hat. It didn't occur to me that you were wearing your new hat. I didn't realize that you were wearing your new hat. I hadn't realized you were wearing your new hat.
So all of these things I didn't notice, I hadn't noticed, it didn't occur to me, I didn't realize, I hadn't realized. All of these things are these past or present tense? Past. All of these things are past tense ways of saying I didn't notice you were wearing that hat. All of these ways are multiple ways of saying the same thing. There aren't really many variations as far as what these mean. These all mean different things. These are just different ways of saying the same thing. Okay, so let's skip ahead to the reading on page 31.
31.
So,
Teacher, what is the meaning of occur?
sure. Occur? Yeah, so occur.
Think.
Can somebody give me a definition of occur?
To know.
To know?
Think, see.
To see? To know or to see? So to know or to see, like you know something, you see something. To occur, occur is what? So we talked about earlier, it's basically an expression used when speaking. So it's an expression used when speaking. So all of these are expressions that I might use every day in my English language. So these words by themselves, like penny, injury, potato, moon, eye, grapevine, all those words by themselves mean something literal. Like there's a grapevine, this is an eye, a moon is in the sky, a potato is something you eat, injury is something that happens to your leg. But these phrases, when you use those words together in a phrase, that phrase means something different. So it's an expression. I don't really mean I'm going to give you a penny for your thoughts. It's an expression used. So it's more of a figurative expression. So remember, these expressions are all figurative, not literal. So what I mean by that is I'm not literally going to give you a penny for your thoughts. There's not literally some hot potato. It's an expression used. So I'll walk through some examples. So sometimes I might say to somebody, give me a penny for your thoughts. And I'm telling them, give me a penny. I want a penny for your thoughts. What would that mean if I told somebody
A
that?
little idea, a little of the idea means penny of the thought.
So
A little idea of you.
So what am I asking of them? What do I want that person to do if I say a penny for your thoughts? What is that person going to do? Or he's going to give me his?
Someone, two person, someone want another to advise in something.
Yes. So if I tell you, I want a penny for your thoughts, that means I want to hear your thoughts about a certain subject. So I want your opinion. I want you said advise me on something. I want your opinion on something. I want your thoughts on something. So if I said I want a penny for your thoughts, and we were talking about, for example, we're watching let's see. Say we're watching a basketball contest. Basketball, football, a concert, a movie, and I want to know what she's thinking about. I might say a penny for your thoughts. I want to know what she's thinking about at that time. What's another example? Another time you might say a penny for your thoughts.
And advice, advice to tell that you know about
Yes.
the thing that you know.
Yeah, so you want to know my thoughts about all this stuff, maybe. So, and if you want to know my thoughts about idioms, my thoughts about all this stuff in general, you might say a penny for your thoughts because you want to know my thoughts about all of this stuff. Does that make sense? So, number 2. So you were just adding insult to injury.
The word that you say may someone don't praise. The thing that you know make someone not praise that you already taught.
Kind of. I mean, it's when I tell somebody they're adding insult to injury. Does somebody else have any ideas? So the best way I can describe this injury. Is that a good or bad thing?
Bad.
So this is a bad situation. So you were just adding insult to a bad situation. If it's already a bad situation, to insult the situation is to make it worse. So
The answer.
somebody is already injured, but not literally, but figuratively. This is already a bad situation I'm in. You're making the situation worse now than it already is. So injury already exists, a bad situation. You are making the situation worse. Insult. Insult's another bad thing, right? It's what is to insult mean?
The answer, like the answer, insult. The thing that you do is an insult.
The thing that you do?
Yeah.
Now, is insult a good or bad thing?
Means that like we do something and the answer that we do is answer. May someone had a bad, have a not good for himself.
So, the way I think of, and maybe this is similar to what you're saying, in that insult, I think of degrading.
Intro is the same irony.
No, what is it?
Irony and so
Irony?
irony.
I don't know if it would be irony.
Like the answer of the mathematics that we do already, and the answer is an insult. The answer is an insult.
Answer is insult.
Teacher, insult meaning all the same impressive.
In person?
Yes.
No, what do you mean by that?
Next I think some insult meaning it's all the same impressive.
Okay, so insult is a verb. It's something you do.
Like then the answer, the thing that we do, the answer is
Did you make this
insult.
problem?
When you say the answer, what is the answer?
That has explained when we did mathematics, and the answer at the end is an insult, right? The answer of the thing that we do.
The thing that we do?
Yeah. The thing we do after that is an insult. Suppose you do a bad thing, the insult, you may be arrested by the police or in jail. Insult that you do something not good.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you mean. So, let's see what the official definition is. So the official definition of insult is to degrade or to treat someone rudely. So this is the official definition of insult. And this is the way I want to describe insult. Insult is basically something you do to degrade somebody or to treat somebody rudely. So if I was to insult somebody, I'm making fun of them, I am degrading them, I'm saying something mean to them. Does that make sense? I mean rude. What does it mean to be rude? If I'm rude,
To treat someone rudely.
yeah, to treat somebody rudely. If I'm rude, I'm yelling at them when they don't deserve to be yelled at.
Or not the answer. I think an insult is answer of the thing that you do.
No. So insult is a verb, it's an action, you're degrading somebody, you're treating somebody rudely.
Mention or speak to really.
So, pretend that I have a broken leg. I have a broken leg, and I'm already injured. And somebody, even though I'm already injured, somebody is insulting me. I'm already in a bad situation with my injury. And that person is just making my bad situation worse by insulting me. So, when I say that you are adding insult to injury, all I mean is that that person is just making a bad situation worse. That person may not have an actual injury, but basically that situation is already bad. That person is making that bad situation worse. So what might be, can you think of something that might be, try to use a phrase. When I try to use the phrase, or idiom, you were just adding insult to injury. When might you use that phrase? Any ideas?
You may you may think that someone disappointed.
Disappoints?
Yeah. May someone disappointed because you do the bad thing. No.
Now think of a situation where it's a bad situation. And they're making that situation worse. Okay. So nobody's saying anything.
Don't know.
Okay. So a specific example I can think of is, let's just say I got fired from a job. So I was employed, my boss fired me. I get home from my job. I get home from my job because I'm fired. And my wife comes home and starts yelling at me. She starts yelling at me that I never do anything around the house. I never do my responsibilities. I'm fired. I just get home, I'm fired, I don't have a job, it's already a bad situation. She's insulting me by telling me I never do anything around the house. I never help her. So she's making a bad situation what? Worse. So she's making a bad situation, my bad situation being I don't have a job anymore. She's making it worse by hurling insults at me as far as why I don't help her. So I would tell her, you're just adding insult to injury by yelling at me. Does that make sense? Feel free to any questions about that.
เราจะถามอะไรกัน งงมืดเลยเนี่ย
Does it make sense?
คือสิ่งที่เราทำ
What about it doesn't make sense?
But sometimes I understand the same time but sometimes I not understand
Like, okay, so what part don't you understand?
no problem I improve
I mean understand ไหม
No, because I want to, if you guys don't understand, I don't want to leave you not understanding.
because my vocabulary is not good because I cannot memorize to insult in
Okay, so like what insult would mean, or what injury would mean? Okay, so insult, like I said over here,
yeah
it just means to act rudely. Injury, same thing. Injury is I break a leg or I break an arm, I injure myself, I hurt myself. So this is just an expression used to describe this injury is a bad situation. Adding insult on top of the injury just makes a bad situation worse. So again, this is just an expression used. It's not literally an injury, literally an insult. It's an expression used when you're making a bad situation worse. Let's see. What about hot potato?
something is bad
Is bad?
something like that
something is bad something is very worse in Thai we have also but we say a hot taro a hot taro
A hot towel?
yeah in Thai
Oh, okay, so you would say it's a hot towel.
Means something when you're in trouble.
In trouble?
A hot taro in Thai means.
Okay, so a hot towel may mean you're in trouble. A hot potato isn't necessarily good or bad. Do you know what a hot potato might mean? If something's a hot potato?
รู้ค่ะไม่รู้แต่มีนิ่งactual meaning
Okay.
มันร้อน
รู้ว่ามันร้อนอ่ะ
มันร้อน
ความหมายอะไรเรื่องเนี่ยthe real meaning
It's basically, when a hot potato is,
แปลว่าดีนะ
ของคนไทย
is basically any topic
hot potato is a very difficult problem
not a difficult problem, no?
Not the problem. In Thai, hot taro means great trouble.
Well, a hot towel, yes, but hot potato.
Have you hot taro?
It's basically a topic, I'll say a topic, that everyone is talking about.
yeah something hot
So,
Oh,
what about,
it's news that
yes,
very,
yes.
very hit now. News,
You said news?
yes, news.
So, yeah, usually when you use the term hot potato, it usually involves current affairs or something that's happening in the news. And if it's a big story that's happening in the news that everyone is talking about, it's a hot potato.
Ebola. Now
Ebola, yes.
Ebola.
So, Yeah, Ebola is a topic that's being talked about in West Africa, all over the news. What's another news story you guys have heard recently?
So today is heard of the couple of English couple of English lady and man was killed.
Yeah, in Thailand.
Were killed.
There's a vote coming up today in another country that's being talked about incessantly on the news.
Ukraine, yeah.
The vote, not Ukraine.
Ukraine and
Well, Ukraine and Russia, there's a conflict there, but there's a vote today.
Vote, V-O-T-E, vote.
Yes, a vote.
vote เสียง
เขาเลือกโหวตหาเสียง
What vote's going to happen today?
ประเทศ
It's
ไหน
a major vote for one country.
อ๋อ สกอตแลนด์
Yes.
โอ้
สกอตแลนด์
So Scotland is voting today on whether or not they want to be
Listen.
independent from the United Kingdom.
เขาจะแยกออกจากอังกฤษ
So on CNN, on BBC, all the major news networks are talking about it. Everybody is talking about today's vote with Scotland and their independence. So that would be what?
เขาจะแยกตัว
Yes.
เขาโหวตว่าจะแยกกันไม่แยกก็แสดงโดยลงคะแนนเสียงนะ
pronunciation post hot post
So no S in there, no S. It'd be potato.
potato
Yes, exactly. Potato. What's another? Can you guys think of any other? You don't necessarily have to limit it to something that you see on the news, but can you think of anything else that might be a hot topic? A hot topic would be another way of saying hot potato.
I know mashed potato is a song.
Mashed
Mashed
potato is a song.
potato.
Okay.
มันจะอะไรไม่ใช่ potato เย่เย่เย่ It's a song แต่เย่เย่ Song เนี่ยที่เชื่อที่ Did you ever see it's a record with song mashed potato?
The song mashed potato? I don't think so. Who sings it?
You're too young, so I am. I
Is it?
ever heard this song.
What group would it be?
Mashed potato เย่เย่เย่จำได้ไหม
Is it English?
hot girl hot song
Huh?
right hot girl hot song hot football hot
ไม่ใช่คือไอ้ข่าวเมื่อเร็วๆนี้ที่เขาพูดกันน่ะคำเนี้ยว่า potato เนี่ยสิ่งที่เกิดขึ้นตอนนี้แล้วใครๆก็พูดถึงกัน
มันก็ท้องกระทาว
นั่นแหละนั่นแหละ
right
So-
ท้องกระทาว
Talk of the town, yes. Yes. That's another way of saying it. It's the talk of the
Out
town.
of the town that everybody know.
What's another event or something that's the talk of the town, something that's popular to talk about that might be a hot potato?
นายวัน
I don't know. I don't
นาย
know.
วัน
ไม่ใช่แปลว่ามะเขือร้อนนายก
แต่คำนี้แปลว่ามันเองมันอะไรอะ
เซเจอร์ที่ใช่ไหม
มันสับไม่ใช่มันนั่นน่ะมันเท่เองไม่ใช่มันเท่
แกงไก่
มัน
ย่าง
ฝรั่งมันฝรั่ง
มันฝรั่ง
เนี่ยแปลตรงตัวไว้มันฝรั่งร้อน
อ๋อใช่
ก็เลย
ก็คือข่าวร้อนไง
ๆใช่เดี๋ยวเปิดเทโตมีมันฝรั่ง
the same tomato
No, now it's potato, not tomato.
ถ้าโทรมาเกิด
So not tomato. So that would be different. A hot tomato.
yeah very very
เสียงมันขาด
This potato. In Thailand, we are not prefer, but the Indian prefer potato. I see the Indian housewife always buys potato
Really?
for cooking. Indian really like potato.
Yeah, I like potatoes.
You also like
Oh yeah.
then you have taste the jam is like potato. The dessert that students get you
Oh, yeah,
Have
yes,
you
yes, potato,
Yeah?
yeah,
Teacher,
No.
yes.
I don't know.
CI
CI.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about, we haven't even talked about this yet. But yeah, we'll talk about each one of these.
Calm down, calm down.
One by one.
I'm just going, the only ones I've done so far are these two, but yeah, I will talk about those.
One by sentence, one by.
So,
Easy sentence that we can not understand well.
okay. But do you guys feel like you understand, at least
Understand.
generally what a hot potato
So
is?
now understand, just understand.
Okay.
teacher.
Yes,
Hot potato is same hot news.
yes, exactly, because
Exactly.
a lot of times,
News.
many
News.
times it will be,
News.
yes, many times it will be events that relate to the news. So, yes, hot news would be very similar. Okay. All right, next one.
One in the blue moon.
Once in a blue moon. What does
Mean.
a blue moon? What does once in a blue moon mean?
Means really happy. No.
Or the sad.
Nothing to do with happy or sad.
And no full moon and empty arms.
So,
Full moon night. And a south of Thailand, foreigner always arrange the full moon night. You know, it's south of Thailand.
no.
Very well known.
ปกติคุณรู้ว่าร้อนเศร้า
What is, any ideas in the back? What
รู้ไม่ใช่แซ่
a blue moon, once in a blue moon might be?
Once in my life. No.
No? What,
Blue moon's a blue moon is a good thing or bad thing.
it's not necessarily good or bad. It can't, it's not, nothing that relates to good or bad. Blue moon relates to frequency of occurrence. How many times in a certain event occurs.
Like always.
Always versus, what's the opposite of always?
Blue moon is the
Oh, what's the opposite of often? If something happens all the time versus
blue moon is one
rare.
1,000 years ago blue moon. History, right?
So how often does a blue moon happen? Very often? No, right?
In the autumn, Thailand no autumn. Thailand has only hot season, rainy season, and winter.
Okay.
No
All
autumn.
right. So
Autumn.
blue moon means once in a blue moon. This is talking about frequency of occurrence. So a blue moon does not happen very often.
Very often.
So this blue moon does not happen
That's not.
very often. So when I say once in a blue moon, something happens rarely. It hardly ever happens.